to the front.
Big H is definitely in the building.
Yo.
Big E is definitely in the building.
What up?
Dante Little Rothstein is definitely in the building.
Yo.
And back for week 2, my man Solo, definitely in the building.
What up,
I'm
son?
Soup. And welcome to Superstars of Sports. But before we start the show, we need 4 things, y'all.
You know what the 4 things always are: rate, comment, share, subscribe. Like my man H always says,
Costs nothing to show love.
nothing to show love at all. So once again, man, YouTube Superstars Sports Podcast on Google Play underneath of the War Room Sports banner, Spotify, Google Play, Apple Pods, everything's underneath of the War Room Sports banner. Coming live on Spin Wax Radio. That'll be popping off in February. So if you listen to streaming services, make sure you check us out on Spin Wax Radio. We'll have the dates and the times of when our episodes will be airing coming soon. Like I said, Spin Wax, War Room Sports, Google Play, Spotify, our YouTube page, Superstars of Sports Podcast. Show love, y'all. So I think going off of this week, man, after the weekend we had, we got to start with the playoffs that was going on last week. 4 great games. We can go over each one of them. What y'all feel about that Tennessee-Cincinnati game? Young Joe Burrow, young Joe Cool.
Cool Joe.
Joe.
I like Cool Joe. I like him. I think they played a good game, despite the fact that he was sacked 9 times, which is big.
That was nuts.
Amazingly, they still won the game. But I like Cool Joe. I like his poise throughout the whole situation, even when stuff got a little hectic. It seemed like he held his cool.
He seemed like his swag had just changed the whole organization over there. Him and Jamar Chase brought that LSU swag with him, right? They spent some money in the offense, on the offseason on some defense. And Joe back there just throwing that thing around, man. I hate to say it, but that, I mean, I point to him usually as you know, my defense against Hurts. About it don't take much to turn your team around if you have a franchise quarterback. And unfortunately, I think we see the difference between what Joe Burrow is and Jalen Hurts. And I know one was the number 1 pick, another one was the 2nd round pick, but if you're building your team around, if you think about it, they had the number 1 pick 2 years ago. That's how they got Joe Burrow, which means they had the worst team in football. 2 years later, they're in the AFC Championship game. You can buy a defense, you just can't get that. You can't buy that franchise quarterback just anywhere. So it always leads me to whatever the Eagles got to do to get themselves a franchise quarterback in the offseason. Doesn't matter how many picks you give up or whatever. You can buy a defense. You can't. Franchise quarterbacks don't grow on trees.
But that's also some kudos to the whole organization, the ownership as a whole, because they also putting the right pieces around. You can go ahead and get that franchise like Trevor Lawrence down in Jaguar and like that, but they are putting the right things around. Yeah. I think Cool Joe's one of them dudes. He's one. What they say, he has it. So he's one of them guys. So if everything stays right, he stays healthy, God willing, I think his future is promising. And not for nothing, I got them beating the Chiefs this weekend. That's just my little upset. So,
we're gonna touch that in a minute.
Dog pound,
we're gonna touch that in a minute.
You saw the Chiefs game, right?
Yeah, I saw it.
We're going right.
But I also saw the Chiefs, you know, they got away. They got away with one. If we go by the letter of the law, since we transition to the Chiefs game, shouldn't Tyreek Hill have been touchdown been called back? Because that's what I've heard from a lot of sports guys all week.
Why it should have been called back?
Because unsportsmanlike, he was taunting.
That the deuces. I mean, I thought that's a dead ball pass. I thought they only bring it back in college, but in the NFL, it's a dead ball.
They said they wouldn't have counted that touchdown.
Wow,
it would have been a wrap.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm gonna stick with Josh Allen and say that the rest cost me the game a little bit, but you didn't like what you saw from him yet, still?
No, y'all. You still must be strong with what I said. I like Josh, but I still think he makes decisions during the game that I'm just like, it's going to keep him from winning the Super Bowl.
You see any bad decisions that game?
We ain't talking about just that one game. We talking about all season.
I just wanted to see that game because that game he went off.
But I think reverting back to that Tennessee-Cincinnati game, I think we see, that Ryan Tannehill solely relies on Derrick Henry. That's a Derrick Henry offense. And Tannehill was just benefiting for having such a good run game because when the game was on his shoulders, he looked like Tannehill from Miami.
Did you like Tannehill at all? I never liked Tannehill.
So, I mean, Miami's situation was messed up. I mean, it seemed like with Arthur Smith, their offensive coordinator, they were putting some things together. I think he played well off of Tannehill's strengths. I think, they knew the strength of the team was running the ball. They drafted A.J. Brown, who's an absolute monster. So he looked great. Arthur Smith left this year. It was really a lot on Derrick Henry. As soon as Derrick Henry went down, the whole offense changed. So, I mean, Tannehill was never in my top 10. I think he was good for that team with the coaching, but maybe once the coaching left and you took Derrick Henry away, they looked like Ryan Tannehill in Miami. So, I think the talent level matched who he is as a player.
You don't think Mike Vrabel made some mistakes in that game that cost him? Some coaching mistakes?
I don't think.
I tend to think in all 4 games there were some coaching mistakes that kind of cost.
I mean, I don't think you can be perfect as a coach, but I'm thinking your quarterback threw 3 interceptions and 2 of them were tipped. I Vrabel is more of a defensive coach and he sacked Burrow 9 times. I'm not really sure what else, what he could have did coaching wise that would have changed the outcome.
A lot of field goals.
Right, he held him to a bunch of field goals, so he kept him out of the end zone. It just, your quarterback play, mistakes. Whoever they won the turnover battle, even though they got sacked 9 times, they won the turnover battle. The younger quarterback took more control of the ball, and that's what happened. They went on the field goal at the end. Then we go into Saturday night, frigid Lambeau Field, San Fran, Aaron Rodgers, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. I'm not vaccinated. What is he?
Immunized.
Immunized, right? He was immunized from another championship because the 49ers got his ass right on out of there. What'd you think about that game there, H?
I think it's bad. You got to score more than 10 points to
Definitely
beat
got to
anybody
score more
in the
than 10.
playoffs.
Okay, who you? Especially if you score 7 on your first drive.
Yeah. I don't know if that was a combination of the quarterback and coaching or what was going on. Jimmy Garoppolo still tried to give that game away. Still tried to give it to him.
I ain't going front. San Fran defense played good, yo.
San Fran defense
they
great.
played.
And we're going to talk about the Metro Ryans later when we get into the head coach situation.
They definitely did. But I don't know. Aaron Rodgers is starting to look like.
How are you that great of a team and have that bad of a
I read somewhere where he has a career like Nick Foles. He's 1-1. He's 1-1 in the Super Bowl, right? Super Bowl MVP. And it hasn't been done. Nothing
has been nothing there.
But it might be over.
I don't know.
Over for him. The talent's still there.
No,
but
what I'm saying, you can have the numbers, but it's really over. See, what I'm saying to y'all is I feel like sometimes it's over. You still might go to playoffs, but as far as you having that.
Well, it means he needs more around them.
Yeah,
unfortunately, the Packers team. So the coaching cost them last year against the Buccaneers. Right, that the play calls within the 2 minutes.
You think he's on his downside, cuz? Is that what you mean?
I'm not saying he on his downside, but I just feel like sometimes it's just over.
He can't carry
the run is over.
The ability to carry the team on the shoulders.
Okay. You still Aaron Rodgers. Y'all dudes still gonna go to playoffs. The road through the NFC East might be through Green Bay. That still might goes on, but you still not getting no rings at the end of it. It's just over. That's how I see things sometimes. Just like when we was talking LeBron last week, the segue into that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just over. You're still gonna be a contender.
Maybe Rodgers needs to go on his Peyton tip where you go to another team where the defense carries you.
You ain't got to rely so much on
everything ain't on your arm, right? Because they were shredding San Fran up on that first drive, but after San Fran made their adjustments, they didn't get nothing, and they were more physical.
I'm like, are they blocking?
Right. It got to the point where you were wondering which team is from Green Bay, because it didn't seem like the cold was affecting San Fran. The way the defense was running around smacking people,
they put their thermals on.
But you know what they say. Sometimes, I think you brought this up a couple episodes ago. Sometimes football is basic. Mm-hmm. And they tell you a running game and defense travels. Mm-hmm. They'll take you anywhere. If you're in the playoffs and you got a running game and you got a defense, you're going to be in every game. And that's what San Fran brought to Green Bay, a running game and a physical style play, and they just owned them on special teams.
Yes.
So then we go to the first game on Sunday. Now, Soup, I hope you have some tissues around because you might have to catch some tears coming from H's face because his lovely Buccaneers.
But in his defense, he was talking that he wasn't trusting them all towards the end of the season.
I understand.
I thought when they lost, I thought about what week was that the Jets game when we was getting on you, and you was like, I don't like what I'm seeing. He did say that, and look, it was a reflection.
That was I hate to say it, but that was for his bull went wild and decided to take his uniform off. It's a whole different story if Antonio Brown is on that team.
If Antonio plays that, other receivers besides Mike Evans can't create no separation.
Right.
So if we have an Antonio Brown or a Chris Godwin, I'm not gonna say we win that game, but it's a different game.
But damn, the Rams are trying to hand y'all this ball, man. Cam Akers fumbling too, it was crazy.
Football guys were definitely on Tom Brady's side.
So let me ask you a question more of because I respect your football knowledge. Todd Bowles, defensive coordinator. Are you mad at him for calling that zero blitz?
Yeah, I'm mad at him, but I'm also mad that Levante David admitted that he didn't hear the goddamn call. He didn't move. I'm also mad that Winfield should have seen that from the rip and just went because it's Cooper Kupp and it's not fucking Johnny Dawson. You know what I mean? It's like, there's a lot of things that went wrong. And that just goes to show what our season been like, and we deserve to lose because it shouldn't have been down to that.
So what's up with the communication? Because doesn't the play call come into Levante David? Doesn't he call the defense?
No, Devin White does.
Devin White does, okay.
Devin
so
White
Levante David was out there just freestyling.
Levante, I don't know how.
He definitely did blitz, and he had the lane to come up that hole.
Another thing, when it was Carlson Davis, I believe, that blitzed. When he blitzed, he went on full speed, and then halfway through it just slowed down for no apparent reason. There was nobody touching him. Go.
Like he wasn't sure.
He almost didn't know.
Maybe he didn't see. Maybe the other people that were supposed to be blitzing wasn't blitzing. He started to think like,
in that situation,
was this the play call?
In that situation, you gotta be willing to go ahead and get a reference.
Just go, right? Just go.
I'm gonna fucking.
If you're gonna mess up 100, going 100 miles per hour.
We're not losing like this. Yeah. But, you know, it was a good season.
What are y'all gonna do if your boy decides to hang him up though?
I'm going back to the Succaneers and I'm gonna go back and be quiet. I ain't got no rap. I'm not gonna hide about this. It's been a great 2-year ride for me. It feels like 10 years.
Yeah. Who is your backup quarterback?
Blaine Gabbert. He won't start.
No, it's the dude from the Gators.
Frank.
The dude that was supposed to be the best quarterback coming out, and then he fell apart.
Frank's son, right? No, Blaine Gabbert left. He got signed to another team that had COVID issues, and he almost started for somebody.
Sure, dude from the Gators.
Yeah, it's
Y'all drafted him.
Franks. It's something Franks.
Brady was like, yeah.
It's something Franks. It was the quarterback for the Gators that was throwing to Kyle Pitts last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, when Kyle Pitts was in Florida. It's something Franks. It's something. I know his last name is Franks. I can't remember his first name. So then we go to the game of all games. Buffalo, Kansas City. Mr. 13 seconds can drive 60 yards for a field goal quicker than what Dak Prescott can do on a quarterback.
Defense coach blew that game a little bit. That's a bad call on defense. How do y'all not be prepared for that situation?
Leslie Frazier. You know what I'm saying? We got Leslie Frazier, we got Todd Bowles.
Two old heads.
Is that going to lead us into that'll lead us into the next conversation for a second. But I mean, at that point, man, it's almost like Kansas City was Golden State, right? And the Chiefs were Cleveland, and they were just having a shootout. It almost didn't matter what defense you called. Didn't matter what blitz back is, what coverage. People were just getting open. Gabriel Davis had over 200 yards receiving, more than Jerry Rice has ever had in a game. Broke all of Jerry Rice's single game receiving, and no one's going to remember him because of what Mahomes did for 13 seconds. Yeah. It's just an all-time game. You could nitpick. I mean, really, to be honest with you, the biggest blunder was on the head coach. How you don't squib kick it with 13 seconds to make the Chiefs return it, to at least wipe ball 4 to 6 seconds before they even get their first playoff. And then some people I heard were saying, well, Tyreek Hill was back. No, Tyreek Hill was not back there ready to return the kickoff. So you squib it, you make them return it. Okay, they might get some yards. They might return it out to 30, 35.
When he flash?
So,
you know what I'm saying? So what if he was? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm still going to do it.
I mean, you see what happened on the 75-yarder. But that could change your decision, right, of not squibbing it. But if he's not back there, you got to squib it. You got to make him at least knock off 4 to 5 seconds, because not only is the scoreboard your best friend, the clock is your friend. You only got 13 seconds. And then to H's point, how do you not know that they have all 3 timeouts? So there's no sense in playing a prevent sideline defense, giving them the middle of the field wide open, because it doesn't matter if it takes 6 seconds, they got timeouts. They don't have to run up and clock it. They don't have to worry about the ref spotting the ball. They're going to catch it with Tyreek. He gets, 17 yards that first bubble screen. They call a timeout. Kelsey gets another 17 the next play. And next thing you know, 48-yard field goal being kicked right down the middle field, and we're going to overtime. So, yeah, maybe Leslie Frazier is the defense. They came into the game with the number 1 defense in the NFL. But, I mean, it's Pat Mahomes, man. Sometimes, I mean, you've seen how tight that coverage was on the Tyreek Hill 75-yard touchdown. The defensive back played that perfectly. He had underneath coverage. He had safety help. You're not supposed to throw the deep end on that coverage, but it's Patrick Mahomes' arm strength. It's Tyreek Hill's speed. He hit him in motion, and then he just outran everybody on the field.
Yeah, they just got it, yo.
I mean, it's just, sometimes you just got to tip your cap and keep it moving.
What's our biggest problem about that game, though? We talked about it, man. Should they change the overtime rule? Should Josh Allen have got another chance?
I think they should have changed the rule. What say you?
Because the game was 10-10, and nobody was really scoring like that, and the Chiefs went down to score. Nobody would be complaining about the overtime. It's just because Josh Allen and Mahomes was going back and forth scoring with a little bit amount of time. The game was fun. Everybody wanted to keep the game going. I think it's just a normal rule. It's just because the game was fun. Everybody was scoring back and forth. And people were just complaining it should have been their chance to have the ball. I just think they should just keep it the same.
So you're thinking if it was the
If the game
Packers,
was
it was like the
10-10,
Packers-Niners
yeah.
game, right? And no one was scoring,
Nobody scored, and A-Rod went down and scored. It was, I don't want to hear no Garoppolo should have had a chance.
I agree with you, yo. I definitely
It
agree
was
with you.
just because Mahomes and Allen they were just slinging touchdowns back and forth. 50 seconds, what was it, like 3 touchdowns?
I think they scored, like 24 points in the last 2 minutes of the game?
It was just fun. It was kind of like the Chargers and Raiders game.
Oh, that was nuts.
Nobody wanted to see it to end.
I do still personally think, though, that overtime for the playoffs should be changed.
I'm with you.
I'm a proponent of, hey, look, 1 10-minute quarter, you just play to the 10 minutes up and see who wins. Because it's the playoffs, right? We don't have to change it in regular season. We can keep it, to quote what we were talking about earlier, the NHL has 2 different overtime rules. During the regular season, regular ice hockey is 5-on-5. When you get to the overtime, it goes down to 4-on-4 to open up the space to make it easier to score. And if you're still tied at the end of the 5 minutes, then they go to shootout. But when it comes time for the playoffs and it's a tie game, it's just a whole extra period, 20 minutes. Whoever scores first wins. I think the NFL should lead this whole, if you score a field goal, the other team gets the ball for a touchdown chance in the regular season. Postseason comes, both teams got to get a chance to get the ball. I understand the logic of, hey man, you can play defense, you ain't got to give up a touchdown. But to me, the coin toss shouldn't decide who wins the game. That's just my perspective on it.
I agree with you.
I just think, whether it be Josh Allen, Garoppolo, it doesn't matter. It's still it's a playoff game. I don't want to hear about player safety at that point because the NFL has been shown that they don't care about player safety. Another 10 minutes, they got a week to recover for their next game. If they cared about player safety, they keep adding playoff teams. We had 3 games on the first Saturday. This is the first year we had a playoff game on a Monday night, so the team had to play 6 days later of the team with short rest. So all that player safety garbage goes out the window. 10-minute quarter, overtime, whoever has the most points after that. If after 10 minutes it's tied, then you keep playing. The next person scores after that. But at least in 10 minutes, each team had the chance to have the ball first and score. That's just my opinion for what the overtime rule should be changed.
I'll take that.
All right.
I'll take that.
Mm-hmm.
So now moving on to the next topic. We talk about coaches making mistakes, right? So now we're going to talk about front office making mistakes by not giving black coaches a chance to coach. We now have 9 openings at the beginning of the offseason. There's only been 2 hires, both white assistant coaches.
Mm-hmm.
We are still right now with only 1 African American head coach, and that's Mike Tomlin. What say you, Sue?
We touched on this like when the cameras went off last week. I just think they need the strength. That's what I'll be doing right now.
Right.
I don't want to be in a business where any position that I want after I get done playing that it's a 90% chance that I'm not gonna get the job.
Right.
That's just me. I'm not doing it. I mean, y'all saying people got to feed their families and all that, but I'm willing to walk away from it. That's just my opinion.
What about you, H?
I don't like it. I think that we should get a chance.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily on Soup's side, but I understand his concept a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think we should get a better chance. And I don't want to be given a job just because I'm black. I also want to be qualified for it. But I also know that there's 2 coaches that were hired today, Denver and Chicago, who I believe that there are black coaches who haven't been hired that are better than them.
Yeah. So for the
Have a better resume
for the ones
than
that
them.
don't know, Denver hired Nathaniel Hackett, who's the offensive coordinator from the Green Bay Packers, and the Chicago Bears hired Matt Eberflus. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's a white defensive coordinator for the Indianapolis Colts. Now, we have had, I think we counted 5 or 6 African American head coaches interview for job.
Yeah.
Jim Caldwell, Brian Flores, Byron Leftwich, Todd Bowles, Leslie Frazier, and I'm missing one, right?
Kansas City do, right?
Who? No, Bieniemy has not been interviewed yet.
And we said D'Amico Ryans has not been interviewed.
D'Amico Ryans did get the
Oh,
job.
he got interviewed.
He's the 6th one.
Okay.
He interviewed with the Vikings. So we've had multiple multiple African American candidates interviewed.
Right.
We've had 2 general managers hired, 1 white, 1 black.
Right.
The black guy hired the white coach.
Yeah.
After interviewing
That's
Jim
another
Caldwell
thing.
twice.
Yeah.
What say you on that?
Well, that goes back to last week when we were talking behind the cameras. You said that, once we start getting more black men in front office, that maybe things will start changing.
Yes.
And then what happens when we get a black man with powers, he get Uncle Tom syndrome a little bit, and he hires a white man to do a job that the black man's fully competent of doing. So it's like, that's a slap in the face too. So it's like, even if we given a chance to be in a position to hire our own, we still look over our own.
Yeah.
No, not to cut you off. How much control you really think he got?
He's a GM, so he had control over hiring the coach.
No, I'm being dead serious. Do you really think that the owner's not saying hire him?
I mean, he interviewed the black coach and the white coach, and he chose the white coach.
No.
So I want to say,
listen, this is what I'm saying to you. I interviewed you, but who's the owner of the team?
I get it. I want to believe that
y'all don't think it's already something going on? Like, yo, we already know.
I think every owner is going to have.
It's on the straight.
Every owner is going to have their input into who the coach is.
I definitely think so.
Who's the face of your franchise?
That's what I'm saying.
So would you want to be a black GM and you can't hire who you want to hire?
This is what I'm saying. Basically, what I'm trying to say to y'all. My point is, them being GMs, it don't matter. That's what I'm saying. It don't matter.
So no matter how high a point in the office we get,
you got to own your own team.
These players gotta make a move, and they gotta show these owners that we're the reason why y'all making this revenue, and that's not what's going on in football. You know what I'm saying? It's not. That's not what's going on in football, yo.
There's plenty of qualified African American coaches. Like before Eberflus or Nathaniel Hackett, who got hired today, there's no reason why Todd Bowles shouldn't have another job. He got the shaft in New York. There's no reason why Byron Leftwich, who won a Super Bowl just last year, took another team, to the playoffs this year, why he shouldn't have a job yet. There's no reason why Jacksonville should have let him leave out without offering him a deal. DeMeco Ryans got an interview with the Vikings. Some reports saying he could possibly be the next Mike Tomlin. Why is he not getting the deal before Eberflus? Jim Caldwell, when he was fired from Detroit, he just had 2 10-6 seasons. The best back-to-back season the Lions have had in almost 15 years. Yet he got fired for Matt Patricia. The team instantly went down the hill. No one has hired Jim Caldwell since. Brian Flores, who we know had Miami on the upswing. There's some rumors came out there that him and the front office people weren't getting along. That's why he got out of there. But there's no reason why he shouldn't have another job. I'm hoping that these 7 openings, that some of these African-American coaches can get hired. Because if it's not, and we go into the season with only Mike Tomlin as the only African-American coach, then there's something seriously deep-rooted wrong.
I don't know 7 positions. How many of them are top prime jobs that you would take?
Minnesota is a good one because you're walking in there. Kirk Cousins is not the best, but he's a serviceable quarterback. If you're a rookie or if you're trying to make a name for yourself, you can win some games with Kirk Cousins.
So a black coach got to hang on to fucking Kirk Cousins, who's so inconsistent that if he has 2 bad seasons, I'm gonna lose my goddamn job. How come I can't walk into a position where I get a Joe Burrow? Or I can get Matt LaFleur and get me an Aaron Rodgers.
Byron Leftwich can go in there and get Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, he's ass. I don't think Trevor Lawrence is good.
But you can't play both.
But I'm not gonna play both ends. Okay. That's my personal piece. Ass. But okay, we're gonna see with that one.
I mean, but most of the jobs that are open, head coaches don't get fired from teams that have Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers. I mean, or Drew Brees.
When Mike McCarthy left, they hired Matt LaFleur. There was plenty of black candidates then that could have walked in there and inherited an Aaron Rodgers and maybe won. Maybe some of this ain't Aaron Rodgers, or maybe it's all Matt LaFleur. I'm just saying, I feel like the hand, and I'm with you. We gotta get hired more. I don't want to get treated special, but I also think that the teams that we get hired to take over or the opportunities we got, they want us to turn shit into gold. It's almost impossible because any other coach they wouldn't have these expectations on.
I disagree with that.
You hold on to.
I disagree with that because to me, most head coach openings are teams that are shitty, and if you're shitty, more than likely you don't have a quarterback.
But those are the most organizations make the right first draft pick and get the right quarterback to come in. When Todd Bowles had the Jets, they didn't make the fucking best interest of that team. They were doing all kind of bad mistakes.
So and the reason why is he came into a team that was middle of the pack. So
right.
they weren't bad enough.
And he got penalized the most for it though.
Okay, I'm not disagreeing with that part, but he walked into a situation where we had veterans ready to win.
Raheem Morris inherited what? Josh Freeman?
Raheem Morris in Tampa Bay?
Yes. Josh Freeman?
Well, you would know better than that. That was
Josh Freeman.
Okay.
Man, that was bad. That was bad. Mike Tomlin's the only one who inherited something nice. That was Red Roethlisberger. It's like even if we get an opportunity, we don't get Lovie Smith.
Did he inherit Roethlisberger? Was Roethlisberger or did he?
No, he inherited. He was already drafted under.
But I'm the only thing I'm saying.
Lovie Smith when he went to Chicago. Who was his quarterback?
He took Rex Grossman to the Super Bowl. Chicago has been getting
He turned shit to gold that year.
But most coaches like that have to do that. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I think that's gonna happen.
Like that's the only thing. That's the only part of the.
Look at Cincinnati, boy. He got Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow gonna be nice.
But he sucked.
Anthony Lynn messed up that bag in San Diego with Justin Herbert.
He went into that team with Andy Dalton as quarterback, and they sucked so bad they were able to get Joe Burrow. He wasn't hired to coach Joe Burrow. He got there with Andy Dalton, and the team around them fell apart. AJ Green got old. They got all those old dudes out of there. So he was hired to turn around Andy Dalton. It didn't work, and they were bad enough that they got the #1 pick. They didn't say, "Hey, we want this guy to come in here and get Joe Burrow." He was there for 2 years before Joe Burrow got there.
They're not getting opportunities for nobody. It don't even matter.
Right. I mean, there's no reason why Eric Bieniemy shouldn't have a head coaching job somewhere.
Yeah,
Eric Bieniemy, if they followed the Chiefs coaching tree, was the next one up. It went from. It was Andy Reid with Doug Peterson. We hired Doug Peterson. After Doug Peterson was Nagy, Charles Nagy, I think his name is. He got hired after 1 year to go to Chicago. He turned Trubisky around for that first year. And then the next one up was Bieniemy. There's been no drop off in the Chiefs offense since Bieniemy has taken over. So why he doesn't have a job? Listen, I don't have the answers for that. I can't say that his interviews have been that horrible that nobody wants to hire him.
Matt Nagy, sorry.
Matt Nagy, correct. I don't know why Bieniemy doesn't. Like, that goes to the deeper issue.
We identifying the problem, but what's the solution?
Ownership. So eventually, someone has to own it.
But I don't think that's even gonna happen.
They gotta give us a fair shot, man. You can't just give us 2 years and get us out of there when you're not satisfied, man. You gotta give us a better shot. I don't know, man. I don't know. You gotta give us a better shot. But like I said, if we're not qualified, fine if you don't give us the job. But I know we are qualified.
I just think a lot on the players, guys. That's
Ownership, man. We might, will it take us to have a core group of black owners to own a team for us to get a job, or will they become owners and still hire a white guy? It's like I don't know. I don't know why we don't get. We'll get any position. We'll get OC, DC, linebackers coach, this and that. When it come to head coach, they won't give it to us.
What team LeBron on?
LeBron's on the Lakers.
No, I said what team he own? Because he done got a lot of coaches hired and fired.
Yeah, well.
That's my point. It's the players, guys. They got to start standing for something, yo. I just feel like the NFL is like is a bunch of dudes that they just yes master type boys. That's how I see them, yo.
So
that's how I see them.
Well, don't you think that the CBA will have something to do with that?
You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, the CBA got the NBA CBA got a lot more power than
the players union in the NBA has a lot more power than the players.
What union is y'all saying?
The players union.
What I've been saying, the players.
Right. Well, that's what we're saying. That it's
no, y'all keep saying ownership. It's the players,
right?
Guys.
Right. So what we're saying is the first step then is for the players to command more respect or decision-making power when it comes to the CBA. But the owners in the NFL are a lot stronger than the owners in the NBA.
But why
because that money is
But what
bigger.
I'm saying is, why are they strong?
Because the players signed the deal. They shouldn't have signed the deal.
They keep succeeding to these boys. Y'all we still keep going back to my same point where the people that's on the field, y'all really got the control. Y'all don't realize it. Because without us, there's nothing to watch. That's how I see it.
We'll have the replacements.
There's nothing to watch.
You know
you gonna watch that?
You know what the biggest difference is? Them guaranteed contracts.
Yeah.
In the NBA, you got them guaranteed contracts.
I got 85 into this game, and he say do this, I gotta do it.
That go back to you don't gotta do nothing because you want to do that, cuz.
No, I'm saying the ownership. So the reason why the NBA wins, the players win, because I got 200 million to KD. If KD says he wants all red on these seats, I gotta do it because it's enough fucking draw.
I gotta pay him $200 million.
The NFL, there's no player that got that much power over me.
But what I'm saying is,
I ain't
you know why?
nobody
Kneel
down if you want to, you fire.
You know why they don't got that much power? Because they care about the money. That's what it is. As soon as you start saying that y'all not worrying about this money and that you're gonna treat me right and I'll sit home and I'll figure it out without playing football, they're not getting no power until then, yo.
See, the NFL ain't gonna listen to them because they're not paying them as much as the NBA.
You're still not listening to what I'm saying. If all of us in this locker room say fuck this owner, and we walk out of here, cuz, and we will not to get paid for a year.
Solidarity.
That's my point, cuz. That's what you need to do. That's why I took it back to the Rosa Parks example. When everybody in that town said we're not getting on these buses, shit changed. Not one person, not two people. The whole city said, fuck this bus system, and that's when everything changed, guys. That's what they gotta do. They gotta collectively say, we're gonna make this change, and y'all gonna listen to us, yo. But nobody's not willing to not get paid. It's really that simple, guys.
So come back to being about that money.
It's always about the money. I told you that with the Megan Thee Stallion situation. It's always about the money, yo.
The money.
That's the problem with us, yo. That's the problem with us.
So we selling out short. We selling out short for a piece of paper. Some people, you know what I mean? That's what you're saying.
That's what it is, yo. That's what it is. And that's been our problem for a long time. We're not gonna get ahead because of that. We could be bored.
So the only way to fix this problem is for us to wake up and walk out?
That's the only way I see
Or
you
start
fixing it.
demanding it?
That's the only way I see you fixing it, yo. And I'm talking about everybody got to do it. Not one dude taking the knee and another dude that who ain't got no name taking the knee. Everybody got to collectively
Mahomes
do
got
it,
to
yo.
walk out. Lamar Jackson.
That's
gotta
what I'm
walk
saying.
out.
It got to be your top dudes, yo.
Yeah.
Your top. Everybody got to do it.
What you think the solution is, E? Because I really don't have no answer. I understand what Soupa's saying. I just don't know.
I mean, I understand.
I don't think a lot
Like,
of dudes would do
obviously
that.
Soup-
They
That's the
scared to
problem.
do. They scared
That's
to
the
do that,
problem.
cuz.
That's the problem, guys.
I mean, I mentioned it earlier. I mean, obviously, Soup's idea probably works best and gets the most done. But if you continue to get people in high positions that have the ability to hire these people, that's the best way without doing it Soup's way, right? You just gotta continue to grind and continue to move up the corporate ladder and be in positions where you can hire.
But not to
you
cut
can be
you
in
off.
vice presidents, you can be directors of scouting. Like, keep getting higher in this executive ladder.
But not to cut you off, but don't that go back to like he said, like yeah, we gonna hire
We gonna take care of you.
10 black GMs
Yeah.
and 10 black vice presidents. But the owner said, no, I don't want Eric Bieniemy. I want Mike.
I mean,
Pulaski.
eventually you got to come with the money. Exactly, you got to come with the money to get into the ownership, and then that ownership, if they're not willing to do it Soup's way by giving up the money, then what you have to do is collect enough power on the outside to bring your own money to the table to be able to make your own decisions. So eventually you got to get into ownership. How does that happen? That I don't know.
Do we gotta go to the Supreme Court to get a chance to become owners? Like it's
No, because it's a business. You don't. It doesn't, there's no
At
laws.
the end of the day,
they don't give us a chance to
They
become
doing their
owners.
part and they're giving you interviews. That's all they got to do. They're giving you an interview.
Yeah.
They can say I gave you an opportunity.
Yeah, I gave you opportunity.
I didn't
Yeah,
think you were
gave you an
qualified.
Even though you ain't have a snowball's chance of hell of getting the job, I gave you an interview.
Yeah.
It's really that simple, guys.
Yeah.
That's why I say it starts with the players, yo. It always starts with the talent to me, yo. Always.
So no one's gonna watch if they're not out on the field.
Always, guys. The music industry. Y'all don't like these deals, but y'all keep going on tour. Y'all keep doing all this crazy stuff. Just stop recording.
Keep signing the 360.
Just stop.
deals.
Yeah, just stop. Once they're not making no money on you, and then nobody's once you stop performing, they're not making no money. Once you start hitting their pockets, they got way bigger bills than you. Way bigger bills than you.
Which
guys.
is why when the NBA players boycotted the game because they weren't being heard, then that's when all the stuff started to change.
All hell broke loose, guys. All hell broke loose.
So switching gears over to the NBA, tonight while we were recording, they announced the starters of the All-Star game. My man Embiid is now a starter again for the NBA. Shout out to the GOAT.
Man, I went to the game on Tuesday night, cuz.
Yes.
Listen, I told wife, I said, he gonna drop 40.
Right.
And I ain't gonna hold you, Tobias. I've been talking crazy about you, but you impressed me the other night because I was happy when I used to perform.
He gives you one of those every week and a half.
The only thing that I want to know is like, I think he might have a mental block.
He's soft, cuz.
Not even just soft.
No, we're in his head. He hears the bulls. He hears the trade rumors.
And I'm gonna tell you
He's
something that bothered me
mentally
about the
soft.
bull was he scored like an easy 17 like in the first half. And he just stopped shooting the ball.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden you want to be Mo Cheeks and get everybody involved. It's like,
right.
Keep scoring. That's your
Help Joe.
Yeah.
Right. Joe be out there like Kevin Hart.
Yeah. I'm like, bro, just shoot the ball. Keep doing what you were doing.
Yeah.
And everybody in my section was like, yo, Tobias, shoot the ball.
Yeah.
And like I said, he hurt us.
Yeah.
Now he dropped 30 something that night.
He went 31.
Yeah.
And Joe was like 42 and Tobias was 31. We got KD and LeBron as the All-Star captains. What's your opinion on that, H?
Well, typical. They're the best, most popular players in the league, so they're gonna be captains.
Right. If you were in the league right now, who's your MVP? Who's your midway MVP?
Embiid.
You think it's Embiid?
Yeah.
What about you, Sloop?
It's a fight between him and Steph with me.
Really?
With him and stuff with me, right? Yeah, I mean, me, I'm gonna be biased. I'm from Philly, and Embiid is my man.
Yeah, for sure.
So I want Embiid, but if somebody says stuff, I'm not arguing.
Right.
With you.
No love for Joker in the room? Any love for the Joker in the room?
Oh, hell no, man. I'm just
asking.
Listen.
What about Giannis?
No, he definitely top 4, 3. You know what I'm saying?
Hit Crip, man. No, I'm stop playing. No, we don't like that.
Hey, we don't support no
we don't do
gang
none of that.
culture on this podcast.
Yeah, man. He on the other side, man.
Why Joker the op?
They jerk my man all because he couldn't play the whole 80 games.
I feel you. Yo, Embiid is my guy.
Man. Embiid is my guy. I'm from Philly. I'm going to be biased. Besides the Steph argument, man, get out of here. Embiid's the MVP.
I agree.
Y'all think he gonna get it though?
No.
I don't think he gonna get it.
Not right now. He's gonna have to continue playing this for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to play this way for the rest of the season. And damn it, I hope Morey goes out and get this man some help. Somehow, some way.
Yeah.
Get this man some help.
And the sad part about it is, like, once I saw Tobias like really playing, I'm like, dude, you can do this every night, dude.
Yeah.
It's like, it's really sad that you know what I'm saying, you have the potential to do this every night. Like,
but that's been him his whole career.
Like,
that's why he's been traded 5 times. That's why he's been on 6 or 7 teams.
You can do this, like, you can really do this every night.
Because the consistency is just not there, and needing him at the biggest moments is not there. I mean, I don't know how many times we talked about how he misses the easiest of layups.
Yeah,
because he's scared of contact around the rim. It's bad, man.
He don't have a dog in him, yo.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
You don't have that dog, yo.
Who's your MVP? You got the Sixers that you gonna remember that.
Embiid, but I think LeBron and DeRozan is I think them three are battling.
Okay. So what you got? What you got over there?
Steph.
You got Steph?
Yeah, Steph. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah,
I see.
So the last 3 weeks of Steph's shooting numbers like plummeting off the charts.
Oh, yeah.
Is not affecting him.
You haven't been hearing his name a lot.
Yeah, it's because he's been.
But I knew
shooting.
somebody that was a Giants fan was going to say Steph.
A Giants fan?
Wow.
Oh. I'm just saying, because if you look at Steph's shooting numbers lately, they look like concert dates, right? Like 214, 3 for 7, like almost like he's going on tour. So I think the burden of carrying the Warriors so heavy in the beginning of the season might be wearing them down a little bit. Now it's Steph, you know what I'm saying? Clay's coming back. The Warriors are still winning.
The basketball season is definitely
it's a long
definitely
season,
a marathon,
right? Which is why
a marathon. It's not a sprint.
That's why we got to keep Embiid healthy, and we got to get Embiid some help so he doesn't have to score 40 every single night for us to stay up there, because we're still only 2 games out of the
and the sad part
first
about
place.
it is he needed to score 40 to beat the Pelicans. Guys.
Yes,
like he needed to.
Yeah.
And I'm looking, I'm like, if he don't drop 40, they don't win this game. And if Tobias don't drop 30, they lose that game, yo.
Correct.
To the Pelicans.
Since getting us no help is not going to win us a championship, I'd rather hold on till we get James Harden at the end of the season. That's my piece, and I'm going to leave it right
we
there.
all know that's your pipe dream. We know it. We know it. I can't wait to see you walking here with a Harden
because
jersey.
ain't nothing going to change if we do get some pieces. We're not going to win a championship. We're not even going to be that much closer to winning one this year. So
Why James?
because I think he's the only one real. It's either him or Bill, but I think James Harden.
He's still stuck on the Morey thought process that if I'm trading Ben, who's
And did you hear the rumors that
Can I speak, bro?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Can I speak? I'm just explaining you.
No.
He's under the Morey train thinking that if I'm trading Ben, who is the top 15 player in the league, that I'm getting a top 15 player in return. That's what he's holding on to Morey theory. Now it sounds good, but if that happens, it ain't happening until the off season. So you're gonna waste Embiid prime year, who might only have 2 or 3 left. I'm saying
anyway.
Get rid of the ball right now.
You're wasting it anyway.
Well, why would James leave where he's at?
Oh, you ain't even hearing. Oh, he's not happy there. He's let it be known he's not happy there. He's not. He doesn't like living in Brooklyn. He's not happy with the Kyrie. I can play sometimes. I can't play other times. And
yeah, because I ain't gonna front. He really came to for them to be the three-headed monster.
Yeah.
It ain't happening.
Total games, they only played 20.
And then once they changed them calls on him too. It's
Like,
like,
was this can't just talk to dude in Philly that he wants to be here.
yeah, and then I mean,
And he's cool with me.
it's Daryl Morey is the guy that went and got him from Oklahoma City that brought him to Houston to turn him into the star he is.
Right.
He knows how much Morey believes in him. I'm thinking Morey is believing too much in Harden. Like you need to get Embiid help now.
Right.
Like I know Harden's your boy, and Harden. There was somebody forgive me for not remembering his name, but there was somebody in the Houston front office that took Harden under his wing, and he looked at as almost like a father figure. Mm-hmm. And this offseason, we actually hired this dude. Mm-hmm. So he works with Morey in the front office. So all these pieces are aligned, saying that Harden really does want to come here.
Yeah.
And we actually had a trade for him last year at the trade deadline.
Oh,
Instead of him going to Brooklyn, the Rockets owners said, for lack of a better term, fuck Philly. I'm not giving Daryl Morey his guy.
Right.
I'm going to send him to Brooklyn. This is what really started the
got
whole Ben
spiked.
Simmons
We got
situation.
spiked,
It was Ben for Harden straight up.
Oh, crap.
That's what started this whole Ben situation with the trade deadline. It got to the point, if you read certain reports, whether it be The Ringer, whether it be Stephen A., they informed Ben that he was going to Houston. Like, pack your shit because you're about to be
He
out.
started crying. Had his agent call.
But then the
And they had to
Rockets pulled
reassure
back
him that they
out.
love
'Cause
him.
if you Bill Simmons from
That's
The
why he
Ringer.
acting like a hoe now.
If you listen to Bill Simmons from The Ringer, who was with ESPN all those years, he created ESPN's 30 for 30. He created ESPN's Grantland. If you remember all the stuff that he did on there, he was the owner of The Ringer, who sold it to Spotify for like $400 million or something like that. You know, he's in tune to basketball as well as Ryan Russillo. They all said all their guys were telling them that the trade was done.
Yeah.
That they were actually recording a podcast for the Ringer Network discussing the Ben for Harden trade, and then they got called at 2 o'clock and said, yo, we're flip-flopping it. He's going to Brooklyn.
But you ain't have to give out that long soliloquy for me for my answer. The point being is this. I don't, listen, when I look at that whole thing, all right now, getting whatever your best trade possibility can happen right now is not going to improve their chances from where they're at right now. And considering what they're doing with who they got, they're not doing that bad. Do I agree with wasting a Embiid year? Yes. But
You do agree with it?
I do. We're wasting his year right now. But I also come from the school
Oh,
of,
so you agree that we are wasting this year?
we're going to waste his year by not making a move.
Yeah.
But I also agree. I'd rather that happen than get somebody. If nothing's going to change and we lose the assets that we need to get a potential James Harden or maybe a disgruntled Bradley Beal, or maybe Dame wakes up and says, "Fuck Portland, y'all still ain't winning. Y'all got this young boy hitting me who balling and all that." Maybe we can get one. So what's the difference between now and April? I understand wasting this year, but we're not going to win a championship. At best, maybe we get the players you want and we improve to the third seed. We get knocked out second round, if that.
Or how about the other way? You go the Bucks route. You have one star in Giannis. You surround him with a bunch of good players, not great, not superstars. Chris Middleton's not a superstar.
Nah.
He's a really good player.
He's what we don't have, though.
Drew Holiday is not a superstar. He's a really good
Also,
player.
what we don't have.
Right. But I'm
They
saying,
had a
but
bunch of good players.
you can get players like that for Ben.
Okay.
Again, my argument to you in the beginning wasn't you're not going to get a straight up talent for talent unless, like you said, Dame, Harden, blah blah blah.
But we still
But
got
you can
this.
win them.
We still got the other light skinned man that we all agree we're frustrated with coaching this team.
Well, that's
so.
But again,
That's a factor we got to factor
But
in.
my problem one with the Sixers is Ben not playing. Number two is Tobias. Number three is Doc. So we can get to the issues of the cause of why we might not win. But the problem is $35 million sitting on the bench.
I get it.
Not playing.
That's just my thing. Is I agree
Go
with
get
you.
as many talented players, not superstars, as many talented players you can with Embiid playing like this. And you never know what Brooklyn. Brooklyn always got somebody hurt.
Yeah, but that's
So
where we going to disagree because, like I said, I might be pipe dreaming. I understand.
Remember, you played Brooklyn in the second round, and they might not even have Kyrie.
Listen, if this pipe
So
dream,
Kyrie only played against Philly.
If this dream wasn't kind of like we can touch it,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be saying. I would say,
got you.
all right, let's go ahead and
I
get
got
your
you.
best package.
Yeah.
But because there's some strong shit behind this,
Yeah.
it's like what we losing by waiting. We're not going to do any better. So if I'm
losing Embiid, bro. I love Embiid that much.
but
I
if we're
know
not
Sixers
going to
made
get
that.
any better, what's the difference of
There's no
us?
way we can't get them better. See, that's my thought. There's no way you can't get better because you're actually going to have
Are we
people
going?
playing.
All right. So better for me is are we going to get a championship or to the Eastern
We
Conference
could
Final?
in the East.
With the proposed trade you're thinking of, we could probably
Yeah.
get to Eastern Conference
Because
Final.
we beat-
All right, I don't think we can, so I want to wait.
Okay.
That's the only thing.
Yeah.
I'm just being real.
Yeah.
Like let's just say we make it deal.
2 weeks. The trade
Let's
deadline
just
is in
see.
2 weeks.
If
So this conversation will be had.
so, if the best thing is they either better make the best trade that we all talked about for weeks.
Yeah.
You know, the couple guys we talked
Yeah.
about, either get them or hold out and let's just hope.
Okay.
That's we only got two options.
But you think that Harden is the road to the playoffs? I mean, road to the chip.
Yeah.
I think that's a big.
What if we trade Ben Simmons
piece,
to Brooklyn
man.
for Harden, and then Ben Simmons locks up Harden in the playoffs like he does when we play America? Then what you doing? What you doing?
I just don't think Harden is the road
If my
to the
aunt
chip.
had nuts, she'd be my uncle. Shit. So we get there when we get there.
Hey.
Let me get James Harden, and then let me deal with the transition problems.
H has hope. We hope that you tune in next week. We love doing this for y'all. Rate, comment, subscribe, share.
Hey y'all, man, stop
Everybody
playing
is
it, man. Start viewing, man. Acting like y'all don't know who got the best podcast out here, man.
we know
Pay
what we
attention, man. I don't like. Come on, y'all.
Rate, comment,
We
like,
with
subscribe.
y'all.
Please, the ones that do listen to us, share it, man. I know y'all be seeing this post on Instagram. I know y'all be seeing this post in the stories on Facebook, all of this stuff. Just hit that share button, y'all.
And let us know if you guys are not getting your notifications on YouTube. I want to know if there's an issue going on. So if you guys are subscribed and you got your notifications on and they're not coming through, please don't forget to check in. But please let us know in the comments.
Let us know if y'all making some money off of us with these picks too, because I know what amount of money we making. Hit us up.
How you doing, everybody? This is going to be the picks for the NFC and the AFC championship games, playoffs. We're going to start with the Chiefs game first. I'm going to take the Chiefs minus 6.5. I don't think the Bengals will beat Kansas City at home. I think that defensive coordinator will fix up the issues that was going on the last game they played and make sure Jamar Chase doesn't go for 203 touchdowns again. I've also added player props since it's only going to be 2 games.
Yeah, let's go.
I like Travis Kelce to score. I do like Jamar Chase to score. I like both quarterbacks to go over 250 passing yards. I like Chase 70 receiving yards, Tyreek Hill 70 receiving yards, and Travis Kelce 60 receiving yards. Moving on. The Rams versus the Niners. They do have the Rams minus 3.5, but I like the Niners plus 6.5. I just think it is hard to beat a team 3 times.
Yeah.
My man.
I do think I roll with the Niners to get a Kansas City versus Niners rematch. So my player props for the Niners game is Elijah Mitchell rushing touchdown. And I'm going to keep on with the Odell Beckham. I like him to score a touchdown. I do like Stafford over 250 and Cooper Kupp over 100 yards receiving. I like Odell plus 40, Debo plus 40 receiving yards, and Elijah Mitchell plus 50 yards rushing. And that's it for the picks. Drop down, comment, like, subscribe, and share.
Don't forget, coming up, we're going to hit college basketball real hard. We're going to get back on the NBA, and there's going to be plenty of player props, as that seems to be the new wave with the betting. Plenty of player props, double-doubles, wins, triple-doubles, assists, plus, minus, all that stuff. We're going to be giving y'all that, so stay tuned. Again, like, comment, share. Let us know if you hit on any of our picks. Let you know what you think of our picks. If you agree, if you don't agree, hit us up, y'all. Like my man H always says.
Costs nothing to show love.
Peace.